Oh yes, legends, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. We'll be analyzing the situation here for the price of Bitcoin. We did get a little bit of dumpy action in the last 24 hours. We are getting a little bit of a bounce now. So we'll be discussing here what the heck is going on, guys. What are the probabilities? Do we go higher? Do we go lower? Do we test the lows from last Friday? Let's get it, guys. Let's make it happen. How's everybody doing? Hope you are doing absolutely great, guys. We'll be going through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful legends right away. Getting a little bit of a bounce today. Guys. Right? A little bit of a bouncy zone here. It's kind of crucial where we're at right now. It's always crucial, guys, right? It's always crucial in crypto every day. You can see many people there on YouTube. Crucial day. It's a trap. It's the last day. Last warning. I love trading, guys. I love technical analysis and I love trading. Let's go through what we mentioned yesterday. Of course, yesterday we ended up making a local double top here at 111.6k. It was one of the plans, right? One of the plans was, you know, guys, we kind of at the value area low point of control of this consolidation. This does look like a kind of a double zigzag right over here where we were counting the zigzag. Do we have one more little 4 in 5? Can this 4 in 5, you know, double top? Or, you know, will it double top from the previous highs? Or will it manage to reach this lower high right there? There were two options here to take a short yesterday. Price moved down about $4,000, which is pretty good. It's a good, you know, it's a good move to make some pretty nice gains. I would maintain some of that short position open. If you did get into the short, of course, no financial advice, you know, I'm just telling what I would do or what I am doing. But this was one of the plans from yesterday, right? We can go through the plans of the entire week, guys. We've been absolutely cracking here with the major scenarios, right? Yesterday, we were very much aware of the price rolling over from here. And, you know, the idea was a local double top. You need to take action, guys, right? You take action, local double top. We're looking for one more fifth wave. Will it manage to reach that high or not? And then we're looking for that rollover, right? We're looking for the move down, which happened early this morning, right? Very nice. In the last few days, we were analyzing this movement down when we were trading in this area. So we were looking for one more low and we were looking for one more bounce. This was just a few days ago, right? Looking to get to the low below Coinbase, a few $1,000s, not expecting a breakout, come back up to the point of control where this is very likely the rejection point. Damn, this is kind of exactly what's been happening, legends. You know, it's pretty nice to see, right? Where we're looking for that rejection, we're looking for this, and you know, we are anticipating that movement down, that movement up, and where we could get rejected. Right, in the last few days, right? Technical analysis does work. Something works, guys. Something is working. Something does work. Because we cannot get, you know, there will be a move that I'll be completely wrong, guys. It happens once a month or twice a month, right? Where the analysis is completely wrong. But we do get these in the zone moments, right? Where we like, bang, we move down 104K zone. Yeah, we get bounced around about that area. We're not looking for a successful breakout. Boom, we move up. This is the resistance area, 111, 112. Boom, we move down from there. Now, I am really leaning on another low, as you can see, based on this Picasso drawing from, you know, a week ago. So this is what we're going to analyze very carefully, the internal movements, guys, right? What's going on in here? Why are we getting this bounce? Is this bounce strong or is it weak? Are there many longs entering? Well, matter of fact, there are many longs entering right now, which it makes it good. Makes it good. Lots of people along in here, at least on Bybit. We got 13 million here, 10 million a few hours ago, 13 million right there. In the last 2 hours, 15 million all the way up here. That's right. Get into longs here as the price is pumping, because this really does fuel the rollover. There was actually some pretty nasty shorts here, which we got a bit of volatility here. We don't want shorts entering the market. So for the moment, looking at the order flow, looking at CVD is going bananas here on Bybit, up and down, up and down. So there is a bit of a battle of shorts and longs. I am favoring still the chance of another low here. Okay, guys. I think there's not much to talk about on the higher time frame, guys. We're not gonna higher time frame. Nothing has changed. It seems silly to go through the higher time frame on every live stream at the beginning, because it's just the same story. Nothing has really changed. So yeah, we're gonna focus mainly on this area. Who got into a short trade yesterday? I know some people in the pro community got into the short. A double top was a scenario. And, we came out on YouTube here yesterday, realizing that, there's a high probability that this move up is corrective. There was nothing impulsive about this move. And obviously we're looking for a lower high to be happening, either very close to being in or tap this high. If this high is broken, which was unlikely, right? We had the VWAP all the way up here. I don't think it's going to reach it based on the lower time frame analysis. This wave to the upside was already looked like it was topping out. Okay, that double zigzag, got a zigzag long correction here throughout the weekend, and then that zigzag here from Sunday to Monday, and it already looked exhausted. So double triple tops here, guys, as you know, is the bomb diggity way to try and catch the trade setup, right? Which we did get that double top just after the live stream. The price decided that it wanted to take that high again. Okay, we were analyzing here the lower time frames, and we basically got to the high here. So we're giving you that chance of entering a short trade. Stop loss at the high. Let it ride, baby. Let it ride, because we've dropped down a few $1,000s, which was one of the scenarios that we explained on yesterday's stream, right? So far, the Picasso drawing, the colorings and drawings are kind of moving where the candlesticks are going, right? So overall, not too bad, not too shabby. So today, it's another prediction day. Today is another, right? We like to do that. I like to do this. And then come tomorrow and say, guys, look, we just moved exactly as the drawing. So we're going to try and do that today again. And hopefully you do enjoy the analysis. You do take this as education. You do learn. You actually see the power of predicting the movements with technical analysis, which at the end of the day, with good risk management, can get you, can give you some gains, right? It can get you some gains if you do manage very carefully the levels and your trading setup. So smash up the like button, legends, if you do enjoy it, right? We got predictions here. We got videos from the last few weeks that we can just talk about based on the movements. And if you don't like it, well, and we don't see the like button getting destroyed, I might just go and follow some other random crypto influencer that's looking at, the money flow indicator, the M2 indicator, and some random moving averages, okay, to look for a trade setup. We don't do that here, guys. We don't do that here, guys. We look for other scenarios that not many people talk about live on YouTube. Let's go through the comment section now. Yes, I'm going to do a like recount, guys, because, yesterday was pretty damn good. Yesterday was pretty damn good, okay? Yesterday we did get that like button. I think we got above 300, which is, it was okay. Let's leave it as it's okay. Like button is what gives me happiness when I go on YouTube, guys, and you guys eventually, of course, okay? So let's go through the comment section. Let's do a like recount. My goodness, not even at 100 likes. This is crazy. This is insanity. but we'll get there. I know we'll get there because you guys are legends and you do enjoy the content. I do, you know. Okay, so we are going to be coming up with some lower time frame predictions and some important levels and some setups, right? This is what we do. We have a blank chart here. We start from scratch. I don't even have anything ready, really. We're going to go and do a bit of freestyle just so you do your morning routine or evening routine to look for a setup, create some plans, guys, right? That's what we do as traders. And then later on, we set some alerts. We don't need to be in front of the charts. We set some alerts and we get ready for that trading setup. And that's what we're going to do today, guys, okay? So we're going to mainly focus on Bitcoin. We can focus on Ethereum. Bitcoin's where I make, you know, most of my gains trading. Ethereum, kind of integrating Ethereum in the last few months, which I'm liking, does respect very nicely. But you only need one or two assets to trade, right? You know, this thing about, I've been dabbling into some altcoins trying to swing trade. I got wrecked, guys, especially with Friday's drop. Screw altcoins, guys. I'm going to stick to my guns, stick to Bitcoin. Ethereum's pretty solid with trading, but altcoins is like, yeah, I mean, I screw altcoins. I don't need altcoins to make money, right? To make gains. I don't need it. I got a bag of a portfolio, and let's see what happens in the next coming months and years, right? And that'll be the end of that. I have to say, all of these different channels that are not based off trading, right? Because we can make gains trading, shorting the market. Yesterday was a short call. Shorting this movement down was the idea yesterday. And if you buy some altcoins in a bear market, and you know, all of these big channels that are just talking about fundamentals and, you know, the 4-year cycle theory, and we're going to make gains, I do agree on it, some of it. So this is why I do have a spot bag as well. But trading is where we look to make some gains, guys. Trading is where we actually want to make, at the end of the month, you know, not depend on a crypto to make some significant gains, right? So trading is, without a doubt, if it's done properly with good risk management, it's very lucrative, you know, long term. Eventually, if you don't have a plan and you don't have any experience, you'll end up losing money, guys. There's no doubt about it. But when you plan your trades and you're very, very careful with the setups, you know it, right? We do here a lot here on the channel, a lot of education, no financial advice, and hopefully a lot of you, you know, do end up being, you know, successful throughout the near future, which is the overall game plan here, right? As a trader and a technical analyst, educator. Let's go through the comment section. Enough talk. Get your plans ready, right? Screw all this talk. But anyway, whoever got into this short, absolutely great. I got into the short and made some okay gains for a day trade, because at the end of the day, it's a day trade, right? Well, I'm happy with the movement down of $4,000. You know, this move was very, 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 very predictable, at least to these higher lows where we do have some support, which we are bouncing today. But that was a very, very good movement, right? So we're going to analyze this bounce. We're going to analyze a little bit of what are we looking at here on the... We're going to keep it nice and punchy, guys. We're going to go to the 15-minute time frame, and we're going to actually look for a day trade scalp setup throughout the next 30 minutes, right? What are the levels? What are the scenarios? Smash up the like button if you do enjoy the content, legends, and I'll go through the comment section right away and say hello to the beautiful community now. Yes. Okay. Andy, where are you? I am here, my man. SK, much love to you. Steve Powell, slap the like button like it's my Mrs. Ass. Wow. Nice. Nice. Sandeep, much love. Hello, legend. Andy, happy Diwali, brother. Happy Diwali, man. Today is a very big festival in India. Much love to you, my man. Immortal, yes, I shorted with a 30x. I took profit at 107.4 and made 100% gains. Andy called the local top, says Immortal 17, absolute legend right over there. Getting into that setup that was provided here on YouTube. Shorting, yes, we like to short the market, guys. You know, if you only hold a bag of crypto, you are risking yourself to big losses, unrealized losses for who knows, right? Who knows when a crypto altcoin bull run will happen again. hopefully Q4, as they say, 4-year cycle theory. We're all starting to get in doubt now, but I think that's good, right? We need to be in doubt. We need to see fear. So I do lean on a recovery, guys, at some point in the next coming weeks. Maybe November, entering into December. I do lean on a recovery, okay? So I'm not calling for bear market and chickening out just yet. Anyway, Jackie Wood, got my mother here giving love and support. Much love to you. My mum here, always giving love and support. So anybody trading SPX 6900 along with Bitcoin? Not myself. Hi, how are you? I'm doing great. Immortal. Much love. Azad. Okay, enough comment section. My man, Masacro. Gold 4 hourly BTC. Let's go. Masacro, much love to you, brother. USDT dominance looks so scary on the weekly. Yeah, it was probably gaining dominance, probably with these drops that we've been having throughout the last few weeks. Okay. Sunshine L, much love. Thanks for being here. Wes, much love, my man. Staffer One, the legend himself, giving love and support. Much love, Staffer. Are you in any trades? I am in some swing longs on Ethereum. They're just there. Okay. They're just there. We got some scenarios interesting. I got the Bitcoin short on one account. I'm in the short from Bitcoin yesterday, more as a day trade. Devil did provide this setup. Devil did provide, I got an account here. Devil did provide this setup as well at slightly higher levels, but you know, this is a day trade. Managed to make some profits. This was the general idea, okay? On, you know, even from yesterday's video, right? We are really seriously looking for a local double top or hit that lower high, right? You just need to take action on the rejection, as we do get that little pump yesterday, right? So you literally have a minute or so to decide if you want to get into the trade. Well, you actually had a few minutes here. Okay, you actually had about 30 minutes, you know, even an hour. But your invalidation was literally the highs, right? But if you want to get the best level possible, maybe not as much as myself, right? You need to give a bit of room here. But ultimately, we were looking for this leg down, you know, potentially to these higher low zones. We were getting a little bit of support today. I am in favor of claiming this low. I am in favor of claiming this low, but we're going to go through 15-minute and even 5-minute time frame to analyze what is going on here. There are a few scenarios. Eventually, there's always a few scenarios. So we need to discuss them. Will we claim the low? Are we going to claim the low from last Friday at 103.6K in the next coming days? That is the question. Right? I do favor this scenario, and this is why I'm holding a little bit of that short position. We'll go through some setups today, guys. Don't worry about it. It's all going to come. USDT dominance looks pumpy. Yeah, I know. So a lot of people were speculating on collapse of basically on stablecoin dominance, and apparently they are pumping quite a bit. I do know many altcoin crypto influencers. That's the main narrative that they'd had, right? Bitcoin dominance down, US stablecoin dominance gonna go down in the Q4, and we're not seeing that for the moment, guys, which is not looking too great. So we need to short the market. We need to make some gains shorting as well to hedge our spot bags, right? So we got that like button that is doing pretty okay. So I think we can. Don't mind share, brother. Andy, let the show begin. Let the show begin. Okay, yeah, we're just extending this too much. So let's go right away. Talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Yesterday, we were analyzing this scenario. This movement up, right? The general idea that we have had for the last few days, considering this movement down from all-time high, a multiple 1-2, a third wave. This bounce was very corrective, especially identified once we got this movement down. So we were leaning on claiming that low. We claimed the low and we were looking for a relief rally after claiming that low right over here to get resistance at the 112, 111K zone. So analyzing yesterday the movement to the upside, it had higher probability to be a corrective structure. Okay, it doesn't look bullish, it looks more corrective. If it had to be bullish, you know, we have to label some kind of a wave one in this area, either with this peak or this one. You know, if you're only getting this one, you're considering a very, very weird flat, running flat. If you consider this one, then you have to have a 1 2 1 2. This second 1 2 is extremely long in time. It does not look like a bullish move up. So the best count here was a zigzag ABC for a W, sideways corrective structure for your wave X, and then another zigzag here. And this is where the beauty comes, guys. When you do have this kind of structure as we had yesterday, we need to zoom in on the 5-minute time frame and really analyze this wave, because this wave can be your last wave before getting this rollover. This is how we look for our trading setups, okay? So that's what we were doing yesterday. We went on the 5-minute, 3-minute time frame and we were discussing, okay, we have a 1 2 1 2. We got a third wave here. Is this the end of the third wave? Right, we got a 4 in a 5. Do we have one more 4 in 5 as we do have 2 1 2s? It seems like very possible, right? This was the speculation based on yesterday's video. So we get one more 4 in 5, double top. That's what we're looking for. That's what we got. And we did get a drop throughout the last 24 hours of, you know, $4,000, right? We can make some pretty nice gains. It is in the, you know, at least for me, it's in my best interest. If you do have a short from up here, you can put stop loss at break even, slightly in the profits, and speculate on that possible rollover. We want to take some profits, okay? Because there is a bullish case scenario. There's always a bullish case scenario, right? There's never only bearish, or there's no only bullish. There's always both scenarios. And of course, one of them will have slightly higher probability, like the one yesterday, which was, you know, getting a rollover from here makes more sense, right? Rolling over here with a local double top is what, you know, has the highest probability. So what is the highest probability now, right? What is the next scenario? What are the next levels that I am looking for? Well, let's go first of all with the bearish case, which is the one that I prefer. The one that I prefer just because I see it as higher probability. For the moment, till proven otherwise. When will we be proven otherwise? I'll explain it right away, guys, but let's go with the bearish case, which is coming to claim these lows. Okay, I like the idea that there's been some significant longs entering here in this pump, and it's getting very volatile. It's getting pushed down, so it's getting absorbed by limit shorts. For the moment, it does look good. Okay, and there is actually some significant longs entering in this area, right? We can see it on the CVD. We've had some pretty nice pumps, also shorts. I'm not denying that there are shorts entering, but as we are downtrending, well, the trend is your friend, they say. So you need to give a little bit of priority here for the bears, right? As it is just pushing down after the little uptrend that we formed since Friday's drop, right? So we got this uptrend. We were looking at a peak reversal sign to start moving down yesterday, and this is what we got. So when we do analyze the peak here, we got the highs, right? We need to go level by level here, legends, right? We've got the highs. How did we move down for the moment? We got one leg down and we got one lower high. Then we had this biggest move to the downside with increasing volume, right? That overextended the 1.618 extension. We like to label this always giving priority for it to be a possible third wave, right? You always want to prioritize this till proven otherwise. So the idea here is that this is a possible wave 3, right? Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Are we forming wave 4, which we do not want it to overlap the pivot wave 1? So far so good. And we do not want it to hit the golden pocket from your wave 2 top to the end of wave 3, which is, you know, not too far away, let's say. Right? We just hit the 50% Fibonacci. It is doing its best. Right? It is trying right there. 382, 50% is your rejection zone for the price to roll over. Now we need to go through the lower time frames here to really discuss. We've got a nice little order block right there. Look at that nice consolidation that we had yesterday before the drop. That's providing resistance. We can see it's providing resistance with the 50%. So the bears are really defending the impulsive move idea to the downside, right? They are trying to hold on that order block and hold on the 50% Fibonacci so the price does not overlap from this pivot low. The pivot 1, right? So that is the, this is the idea for the bears. The moment we get above the golden pocket, I'm going to start being a little bit skeptical here and saying, why did we hit the golden pocket? There should be an impulse. There should be a first impulsive move down. I would not label this as a wave 5 truncation. Wave 5 truncations where your wave 5 does not claim the low of wave 3 is extremely rare. You know, this is like 1 in 100. It doesn't usually happen, right? So we're not considering this being the 5-wave move down. Could it be? I mean, yes, but we don't consider it very much because it's just, like I said, it's like 1 out of 100 times that you have a 5th wave not claiming the low of the 3rd wave. So preferably you are still inside of the wave 4 here, which is dancing around. Let's take a look at the VWAP. VWAP is just basically there in the middle, not doing much. VWAP traders right now are just a little bit confused. People that are just using the VWAP, right, for taking trading decisions are not knowing very much what to do right there with the VWAP in the middle. So we're going to have to go through the lower time frame here, okay? And yeah, I do like the idea that we are going to defend the 50% Fibonacci and we will not get to the golden pocket. Okay, so far, price is getting a little bit of a pump right now of a few $100s, nothing too major. The moment I will be in doubt here for something different is when we hit the golden pocket. What changes if we do hit the golden pocket? Well, we are not looking at a 5-wave move down anymore. Okay? If we hit that golden pocket, something is changing. Something is changing here. So I am leaning that we are going to defend the golden pocket. We are going to defend that pivot low right over here. That's the general idea with the drop. 382, 50% just holding right there just a few hours ago. Now the price looks like it wants to go up to hit that level. But yeah, let's see here on the 5-minute time frame. A little bit of this local price action. Yeah, it doesn't look too great for this to be a strong move up. Okay, big rejection here. Yeah, preferably I would be more interested in trying to plan here a setup here, guys. If the price does roll over from this zone, because I mean 50% needs to be respected. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame. Price here, maybe the S&P 500 is getting a little bit of a pumpy action right now. Maybe this is why we're getting this movement to the upside. S&P 500 is not really doing that much, so yeah, there is a possibility of this order block really holding here. Again, if we do come up to this area, I think internally it's not a bad idea for an SFP. If we do get back up there, this movement to the upside doesn't look too promising as an impulse, because you got this low, higher low, and then you got this movement up right over here. Yeah, it doesn't look too promising in my opinion. You had overlap with this correction here to this one. I would be labeling more a possibility of a zigzag up, a flat here, and another zigzag to the upside, and a double zigzag. So it's going to be interesting. We're coming into this level right over here. Let's see if we do react at this zone. Order block, claim the highs, and possible double top here is on the cards, okay? I think the bears are going to try and defend this level. We are coming very close to it. So that could be another new setup here. I'm gonna give priority to the bears to try and defend this zone, which is the 50% Fibonacci. Not hit the golden pocket. Defend with the order block that we have from that consolidation here yesterday before the drop. Let's see if we do manage to hit those highs, and it could bring a SFP potential, right? Just get that sweep of the highs, stop out any over leveraged short traders, and then probably get the swing failure pattern. If it breaks out, okay, then there's no short to be taken, okay? If we do break out all the way up to the golden pocket and we do not swing failure pattern, that's going to probably happen in the next coming minutes, then there's no short. Well, that's the best shorting trading idea that we do have for the moment. And this is your barrier. You don't want the price to break out successfully from the recent highs. If it does, then we just look for the price to find some resistance. You know, get a stop, right? Because if the price does not stop, then eventually, you know, we just go higher, right? You just let the price go. What is the next level of resistance if we do not create a local double top here? And we swing failure pattern from these recent highs, right? Order block and recent highs of today. If it does not swing failure pattern, what are we looking at? What are the next levels? We do have a naked point of control from yesterday, basically, which is sitting at 110.7k approximately. That is a zone where I would be looking for a rejection from the highs to the lows at 7.8 Fibonacci. Inside of this area, I would personally not be interested. If we do break out from recent highs today, inside of this zone, I would not be interested personally myself in a short position if we break out from the recent highs. Okay, I would just look for the price to rally a little bit more, and the 110,700 is the level where we have a naked point of control, basically from yesterday, and the 7.8 Fibonacci. That's the first rejection point after breaking this order block and the recent highs, if we do break out, right? And unless we do form a swing failure pattern. So we just up that level. We are maintaining above that zone. It is pumping. It is pumping hard. It wants to pump. Many longs entering here. Many longs entering right over here. It's pumping aggressively. Let's take a look at the golden pocket. For the bearish case, we do not want the golden pocket, which is just about being scratched. So golden pocket has been scratched for the moment. which is kind of invalidating already this being an impulse to the downside. Could get a rejection from the golden pocket. We got the order block lower highs right there, providing a bit of resistance. Yeah, could get that rejection right there. So if we are not looking at this to be an impulsive move down right now, because we just hit the golden pocket, we need to look for other scenarios. This is looking interesting. Let's see if Tradingview wants to load up here. Oh, don't do this again today. My goodness, it was working just fine just a couple of hours ago. It's kind of just pushing up here. Doesn't want to get the rejection. It's trading above the order block. What is interesting is if we do get that rejection in this area, right now, I'm not looking at this to be an impulse. So this has changed a little bit of the map situation here. I was really looking for a possible lower high and claim the lows. But if it hasn't done that, it's hit the golden pocket. We need to be looking at potential other scenarios here. I am concerned about if we move down from here aggressively in the next coming hours, say that we peak out somewhere at 110, 110.5, where we do have that naked point of control. If we move down from here later on, I am considering that this might not be an impulsive move to the downside, and this will be corrective down in a double zigzag. It is really crucial for the move down to really finish in a 5-wave move. It is absolutely crucial to consider the continuation down later. Now that we are just about to overlap this pivot low, we have a 3-wave structure. So if we got a 3-wave structure down with this bounce, the only bearish scenarios is a double zigzag down. If we do get a double zigzag down, it's going to be looking pretty damn interesting. Just about scratching that possible pivot wave 1. It just missed it by a hair at the moment. So if we were to reject from here, we did hit the golden pocket. So yeah, considering this a wave 4, even though your hard invalidation is your wave 1 here. Yeah, if this does come down from here, I'm going to be skeptical about this being an impulsive move to the downside. So if we do zoom out here, if we do get that leg down here from now, from this area, we do have a zigzag down. If we are considering this your wave X, or your wave X hasn't been developed yet, and then we get another zigzag down, we could be forming a corrective structure down here, legends, which is not going to be too good. We will be looking for a reversal eventually, but yeah, there will be a problem here without a doubt. There will be a problem because we could consider that this has been the finished 5-wave down. Okay, let me just put this on a larger scale like this. There we go. Yeah, this has changed a little bit of the picture at the moment. Getting this rally, not finishing an impulsive move to the downside. Could it be Could it be that we have, hang on a second, legends, maybe this wave 4 hasn't finished yet. Maybe this wave 4 hasn't potentially finished, where we do have a 3-wave structure up. This counted better as a double zigzag. However, can this be an ABC? We get down, we get up here, we form a flat. A flat here could be interesting. We still have a lot of room here. If we were to claim the highs, this for me is not impulsive. There's no solid way for me to count this as an impulsive move. If you're looking at this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, your wave 3 is smaller. A multiple 1, 2 is just not looking great. 1, 2, and 1 and 2. You're kind of lacking here of a 5-wave impulse. A double 1, 2 here to then get a 3-wave up. Not the scenario that I am favoring at the moment. So if we were to rally here, if we do not get a reaction at the 110.7k, which is the naked point of control from yesterday, and we do claim the highs, I would be potentially favoring here a flat structure. So we are pumping right now. We're breaking the levels, breaking that order block, breaking above the recent highs. Not interested at the moment in a short on this pump eventually. If we were to hit these lower highs, the best zone, I mean, when we're considering here this wave 4, you get Fibonacci from the top of your wave 2 here to the end of the wave 3. I mean, this still has quite a lot of room still to go up, to basically form a lower high, right? You still have quite a bit of room for the price to really get up to higher levels. So if we are considering this an ABC, I would be looking at maybe a WXY structure that could be formed here. So if the highs are taken, we could be looking for a double top here. There is a possibility. Local double top, move up. If it breaks up, then I would be looking at the anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP from all-time high. Yeah, I mean, this is I mean, the first major level is without a doubt 110.7. I'm just not a little bit skeptical about here the price getting a lower high and getting the rejection. Not the major zone that I would be interested in the short. We're pumping quite aggressively. The S&P 500, what is it doing? Not doing much. So we have invalidated basically the wave 4, wave 5. Yeah, just haven't had any other scenarios ready here. But zigzag up. I would be very much interested. I'm not looking at this to be a bullish scenario, okay? Not this a bullish scenario right over here. Breakout in a third wave very aggressively. So I am looking for the price to look for a possible rejection. As the price is moving up from here, you know, speculating on a lower high, yeah, I'm not, you know, this is not the best area for me right now to like get into a short. Price is pumping, we're breaking out some major levels. Your first major level here, not that I would consider this being a great level for a short, because you've invalidated the impulsive move down with hitting that golden pocket. And yeah, I mean, for a lower high after forming a zigzag, down, if you're speculating on a lower high on a wave X, it's just not not nice because you have so many scenarios. For me, there's no trading setup. Yesterday was easier eventually to look for that short position in this zone. However, right now for a short, as we make that move up from golden pocket, it gives you many different scenarios where if you have a zigzag down here and you get that movement up, you could be looking for a flat zigzag down. Could we get that zigzag up, pretty sharp move up to sweep up the highs, and then we get the rejection? So kind of a swing failure pattern from these local highs, I would say is acceptable. A lower high here becomes a dangerous entry for a short, just because we have a 3-wave move down. So I don't have any plans here for a short with this pump invalidating the wave 4 here. It would have been nice to get one more low. I was actually interested in a long position today if we would have claimed the local lows, right? So the overall long trade today in the Legends Pro was looking for a leg down here and get a reaction bounce, either at the point of control or just sweep up the lows locally here, and get that reactionary bounce, right? This was a good plan that we talked about. It was not an easy long position, but it would have been either swing failure pattern or hit the point of control to speculate on that 5th wave. We did get a very, very good entry last week on a 5-wave move to the downside. This was given in the pro community. But with this 3-wave down and this rally, of course we can lower high here at the value area low point of control here from yesterday. But, for me, it's not the greatest short trade when you have a 3-wave down, because you can form a flat here, basically. You can sweep up the highs. This is why, when you're pumping so aggressively here after a 3-wave down, it makes you think twice about the rejection. So if we were to reject from here in the next coming hours at this point of control, I would be happy to say, for me, it's a missed trade. There's no solid analysis based on Elliott wave that I would enter a short position here after finishing a 3-wave move down and getting this rally. Okay, so I would have to look for higher to consider that short. Either swing failure pattern from the local highs, and if it breaks those highs, pretty aggressively, then eventually your best rejection zone, right? If we do not reject from these local highs, which is the barrier, that's where you're looking for an SFP basically to take that quick trading decision. If we were to break out from here, I'm in a short from higher, so I'm not closing just in case the price does decide to reverse from here. But to enter a new short from where we at right now, this is not a level that I would short. Not a zone that I would short for sure. Based on the 3-wave down, you can claim the highs. So the best shorting zone, if we were to continue pumping, would be that liquidity grab from yesterday's highs, and it either swing failure patterns from there to come back down, or if it does manage to break through, we do have a naked point of control. You got some lower highs right there. Matter of fact, it is the value area high also of this trading zone with the anchored VWAP from all-time high. I mean, this would be I would be aggressively entering a short trade right there. If the price were to, I don't think it's going to happen, but if it were to break above these highs and not SFP from these local highs where we got rejected yesterday, I would be looking for the anchored VWAP without a doubt, which is with these lower highs, value area high of this trading zone of last week. And it is still the 50% Fibonacci from that higher time frame wave 4 scenario. So, I would look to re-enter a short trade at that zone. Obviously, you need to tap the level, tap the anchored VWAP, tap the 50%, these local highs, that's your barrier zone, right? If this were to get up there, you need that rejection. This would be the sniper short trade, stop loss at the high, and you're looking for that reversal later on. So these are, you know, those are the best levels. I was going to talk about a long trading setup because, yeah, shorting here at the 50% Fibonacci with the local price action that we had was not too convincing for me. I would have preferred the price to roll over from here to claim those lows. And I was going to talk about a long trading setup if that were to be the case. If we were to roll down, you know, we're literally looking for that bounce on the fifth wave to claim the lower highs of today, right? This would have been the trading idea, but as the price decided to pump here, it just didn't have any trading plans in this area. For me, there's no trading plans from here, so it would either run up here or roll over. Doesn't really matter for me. I don't have a trading plan in this area. So if the price were to decide to rally from here to sweep up these lower highs, just because I do like this being more of a three-wave move up, either in a, you know, ABC or a WXY. You know, in this case, ABC would be ideal, because then, you know, if we have an ABC up, three-wave down, and a three-wave up, you know, we could be looking for an internal flat here, right? Zigzag, flat, and then either here you form another zigzag up, or you form a triangle just to label that wave 4, and then roll over later on throughout the next couple of days. So you could be forming a complex WXY here, unfortunately, with this three-wave down. It would have been much easier to, for the price, it's just gently, yeah, it didn't even reach the naked point of control. So it's just not, this is like not an easy short. It's, if the price were to roll down from here, it's not one of those shorts that you would want to get in very aggressively, right? Yeah, this is, for me, there was no plan here for a quick short. The price is pumping aggressively for some reason here. You're not hitting any major levels of resistance. Naked point of control was not even hit. You formed a three-wave move down, invalidating your wave 4. You just have the risk here of the price shooting up to yesterday's high. So yeah, for me here, there was just no setup. There's no setup based on the information that we have. It would have been nice to actually form. Sometimes the price is not going to do what you want it to do, and it would have been nice to actually just get that leg down today, because there was actually an interesting setup. I did talk about a similar setup with the community last week, which, you know, was looking for a corrective move up and looking for a 5-wave down to day trade long and look for a short later on. If we would have come down here today in this 5th wave, it was a long setup. There was a long setup, but we needed that 5th wave structure. So getting this bounce from here, I think many must have missed this bounce. But I just want to talk about the yeah, let's go right away and talk about the setup that we mentioned, just so you can get the idea from last week. It was the previous week, actually, right? Where we were very much in favor of this being a corrective move to the upside. We were labeling this as a zigzag flat, okay? Flat structure right over here and a zigzag up. Very, very corrective price action. There was no solid way of counting this as a 5-wave move to the upside. If it were to be a 5-wave up, it had to be an expanding diagonal, which are very, very rare. So we were looking at this to be a corrective move in a double zigzag. Then what the price did here, just to keep this educational, guys, because I was leaning on this scenario just to provide the education today. based on the trading plans. Here, what we do in the pro community is we create trading plans, right? Not all of the trading plans are going to come to fruition. You create them, and if the price does what you create, your trading plan, right? If the price moves as you want it to move to hit those levels and be confident in the trading setup, then you execute the trade because you know where your entry is, you know where you put your stop loss, you know where you're targeting. And last week, I think it was actually the previous week, on the 9th of October, we were looking at this 3-wave down, and we were trading in this area at 122k. And this was a day trade plan where we were looking for that 5th wave. And this 5th wave had the daily level from the close of Tuesday and Wednesday, the 7th and 8th of October. They had exactly a daily level, which was coming into this area of the 5th wave. And we liked the reaction. We executed the trade, and we got a pump of a few $1,000s, which is targeting the local highs here. So a really, really nice long setup. This was kind of a bit of a similar plan that we had on the long execution of today, right? Well, it wasn't executed, but this is something that we were looking for, right? Can we form a lower high at the 382 50%? Not too interested in that short, but interested mainly in the long on the possible 5th wave, right? So on that 5th wave, look for the rally and claim the 4th wave. And this is basically one of the scenarios that we were looking at here in this zone, right? Price of Bitcoin is looking a little bit punchy to the upside here. So it could be continuing the range. We have to talk about the bullish case, which I'm not favoring too much. It doesn't look too bullish in my opinion, but we have to talk about it. But anyway, today we had the rejection from this area, and we wait patiently for the scenarios to happen. We've got 1, 2, 3. If we do create that 4th wave, and then we claim the lows to sweep up that higher low from yesterday, also, we do have the point of control of this zone, naked point of control, okay, which is sitting right over here, just slightly below the higher lows that we have here from yesterday. So this scenario was a possible long trade to get above the 4th wave, very similar to the one from last week, okay? It's a good setup. You realize how the price can move, and if it were to come down from this zone, you are looking at some pretty interesting support here with the golden pocket from the pivot low to the pivot high. So would have been an interesting either point of control or double bottom from this zone, but it didn't happen, right? So but I was just looking at, just to give a clear example from last week, where we formed that 5-wave move to the downside here, and you're coming into a major level of support, right? You've got the 3rd wave, little 4th wave, 5th wave right there, which is coming to a point of control also with a daily, and getting that reaction bounce, which was the long setup of last week. So this didn't happen, but it was part of the plan, right? So we do create those plans, but sometimes the price will decide. There was no short plan in this area. There's no shorting scenario, even though you could have speculated on the wave 4. But I was just looking for the move down to create that 5 wave, look for the bounce, and in that bounce, obviously speculate for that corrective structure with the potential of coming all the way up here to the 110k zone, where we have this point of control to look for a lower high. But sometimes the price is just not going to move as you want it to move, right? To get into your trading setup. So so anyway, this was a nice little rally of a couple of $1,000s, nothing too major. And what is disturbing right now is that this correction could extend for a few more days. So as we have hit the golden pocket, it just opens the door for many scenarios here, unfortunately, guys, which we're just gonna have to talk about them, right? This is what we do. If you hit certain levels, what other scenarios can happen? So I like the idea that if the price does, you know, rally from here, forms like a double zigzag. So you got a zigzag down, you got, you know, possible zigzag up here, and look for a rejection either at the double top from yesterday. And if it decides to break through and pump a couple of $1,000, your biggest level, without a doubt, is that anchored VWAP. Okay, anchored VWAP from all-time high. I'm gonna have to wait patiently here. I'm kind of still interested in and looking for a short at one of these levels. Short trade from yesterday was a success. This is important why we need to take profits as well on the movement down, as we are getting some support. So we might get another, you know, the next two zones. If this does not reject the local highs of yesterday, then the next level is the anchored VWAP, without a doubt. Okay, with these lower highs, it's the only two levels I'm interested in at the moment for a new short. And for a new long, yeah, I was basically interested in lower levels, right? I was interested in an internal long here, but we had to claim that point of control. We had to hit a good solid level of support. So not in a long at the moment, only on Ethereum, which is doing okay. So yeah, that's a little bit of, I have no shorts here, no short desire where we have the price action right now. Point of control is just not, it's just not a, you know, when we form a three wave down and you get this bounce, you know, I'm just so aware of the price claiming those highs. You know, if you form a corrective structure to the downside, speculating on a lower high is very, very difficult. You know, it's just three wave down, you realize that there is, the chances increase to claim these highs. So, you know, you're speculating on a lower high right over here in this zone. For me, is I have no strategy, no plan here, even though there is a naked point control just slightly above the wick that we created. We just missed it by about $100. You know, I have no desire. I mean, I am in a short from higher. If it were to roll over, I have to say I missed this short. You know, just like I missed this long. We can't get into every single trade. The price is not beautiful here for me to take a short. It is pumping. I'm aware that we could take out the highs. Yeah, there's not interesting in taking a short here in this area. If the price, as I do like this movement to be a three wave structure instead of a 1-2-1-2, bullish case scenario is that you have a wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, maybe another wave 1 and 2, and then 3, right? And you suddenly, holy crap, guys, this was it, right? We're suddenly flipping bullish. And I don't think this is going to happen, but you would have to consider that this 5-wave move to the downside has finished. There is a way here, instead of counting this as a 1-2-1-2, that you have a running flat 1 and a running flat right there as your wave 2, which you would prioritize always a double 1-2 instead of a 1 and a running flat. But we just have to say, look, it is possible, right? You have a 5-wave move to the downside here. You do have a 5-wave down. Now the overall question was, in the last 24 hours, do we form another lower high, which, you know, so far was looking okay. We could still form a sideways WXY structure that can be very confusing, as explained. You might claim the highs and then the lows. You form a flat here in the middle, and then you form a zigzag, and then you roll over. and that's your wave 4. And then you're like, oh, what the heck's happened? Well, it's just the correction has extended, right? The correction has extended. You got 3 wave up, this movement down. It would have been so much easier to just form an impulsive move down, which we did not get. So that means only one thing, that the correction can extend. Yeah, the bullish case scenario, let's go through the bullish case, which I do not think it's going to happen. But when we were considering the higher time frame, we are looking at an ABC flat from all-time high. Okay, let's see if TradingView wants to load here. It looks like it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to load. Still prioritizing on the higher time frame that the top is not in. That new all-time highs for me is very, very likely, potentially before the end of the year. No matter how long we extend in the next coming weeks, no matter, if we do claim this low and go below 100K, I still prioritize the macro, and the macro is still looking bullish in my personal opinion. Okay, it all has to do with this 3-wave move to the upside. Okay, so what we do have here, when we consider the macro, is what we are labeling this is a A wave, a B wave, and your C wave here. Could it be? I mean, I'm not going to get too bullish here, guys, just with this little pump of $2,000, but but what we need to understand, okay, and this is where this is where it comes a little bit more complex. What we need to understand is that we had a clear corrective structure from the all-time high of August. We had a clear 3-wave structure, especially after the move down from the previous Friday. And now the overall question is, okay, do we get one more low, right? Do we get one more low on this impulse? Because the overall speculation is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do we have a double 1, 2 so we can create one more 4 and 5, right? That's the overall scenario here. Do we form another lower high from 116K, which is still my general idea, nothing has changed. It's just gonna make this correction a little bit longer potentially before we go down. And this is the overall question here, because technically, you could have finished this 5-wave move down, right? Technically speaking, because when you do zoom in on the lower time frame here, for this to only be a wave 1 and this a wave 2, you have to fit a running flat, which are not common for your wave 2. Your wave 2 is a running flat here, which is not common, but you need to give it the possibility, right? This is the overall thing. I prioritize a double 1, 2 just because they are more common than a running flat for a wave 2. So I prefer labeling this as a double 1, 2 as a bare minimum. But what we need to understand is, even though it's lower probability, the probability is there. On the higher time frame, as explained, we are trying to map the situation here on how long are we going to take in this correction. Will we get below 100K or not? That's the main idea. Bear market talk is coming around very aggressively throughout, social media, on X, or YouTube, which I do not favor. I do favor the correction extending, but not entering a bear market just as of yet, because the way we hit all-time high from this correction, as explained in the many videos, is we formed a 3-wave move up. And yeah, you don't want to end a bull market with a 3-wave structure. And when we do analyze here the momentum from here, You got wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, not 4 and 5, because, you know, if you were to label this like that, this would have to be an expanding diagonal, and your wave 5 needs to be longer than your wave 3, which is not, it's not possible, right? It's just not possible. So yeah, I don't like the idea that this is the top is in. I like the idea that this correction, I would even say, or the low is in, or you create one more low and that could be the low, or you extend the correction in a flat in your wave W, you form your wave X, whatever corrective structure, and then you can form a zigzag down in your wave Y, right? And this is like really pushing it all the way up to December. And then maybe in 2026, we move up to all-time high. Of course, that would break the 4-year cycle theory. But, we are, the thing is here, when we do take a look at this structure, we are looking for a significant rally to happen at some point, taking out the low or not taking out the low, right? Because if you have an impulsive move down in a 5-wave structure, now the overall question is, do we get one more, 4 and 5? We're not looking for a successful breakdown from these lows, and we are looking for a significant bounce, and the bounce could happen, in the next coming days. This could have been the 5th wave end, right? This is something that you just need to take into consideration. You got the big move down with high volume, you got the dead cat bounce, and then you claim the lows here. So you have, technically speaking, already a 5-wave potential to the downside, which inevitably you are looking for some kind of a fat reversal, claiming the lows or without claiming the lows here, right? You are looking for a significant reversal, most commonly to get above the 4th wave, which is above 116K. Throughout the last 24 hours, we've been leaning more on the possibility of actually rolling down, but from this pivot, but the market did not want to give us that chance, right? The market is saying right now, screw you. This is not the wave 4 end, and potentially, instead of this being the wave 4 end, maybe the wave 4 is going to extend a little bit longer. Okay, where you have a zigzag up, you form a flat here, and then you form whatever, a triangle or a flat or another zigzag to the upside. And then you roll over down, right? And it just stretches a little bit the scenario here. So yeah, this is what happens when you invalidate the impulse on the lower time frame, right? You're like, whoops, sit on your hands, no new trades. Jumping into a long here is just not, for me, not an option. Jumping into a long right now is not an option for me. With this momentum, right? You want to so we FOMO into this pump. It's not an option for me here at the moment. So, nice little pump of just over $2,000. Yeah, I would have to wait for the price to see how we claim. I mean, the bullish case scenario, which I am personally not favoring, just because the movement's up to be a multiple 1-2 it just doesn't look nice. It just doesn't look nice on the charts. But eventually the bullish case would be this being a 1-2. Then you have your 3, 4, 5. And what you're forming here is another 1-2 right there. And 3, 4, and 5. Of course, this, we're going to have to put it like this. I'm really not favoring this scenario. I am still looking at this to be a larger correction. We got lots of resistance, local highs of yesterday. I am looking for a double top swing failure pattern from those highs. And if it breaks through, the best rejection point are these lower highs with the anchored VWAP. And it's only two levels, right? This is not like building a short position. It's either hit the level and you reject. If you do not reject, you just go higher. So two major levels, the highs of yesterday, which we are pretty close from, or these lower highs from Tuesday of last week with the anchored VWAP. Two levels that need a reaction for me to take a shorting decision here very aggressively. And if they are broken, right, just like that lower high that we had today, you trade above it. As mentioned, this is why I'm not interested in a short where we at right now. There's no trading plan. There's no level of resistance. You formed a three-wave corrective structure down. And if you are looking for a short here on a lower high, it's dangerous. You increase probabilities to take out this high, because as you moved up today to hit this low, you invalidate an impulse down. It's invalidated basically. So, if you're looking for any shorts in this zone, you're going to get burnt, right? Or, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous short, because this movement down automatically converts into a three-wave structure. So there's no lower high short here, and that's why your trading plan changes based on the new information, right? So I would be looking for a sweep of the local highs. That could get a reactionary rejection. And if it does not, and it decides to pump another few $1,000s, you are looking for the next big level of resistance, which is the anchored VWAP from all-time high, with the 50% Fibonacci basically on the speculation of that wave fall. So this is it is a zone to be a little bit aware of, be a little bit cautious. Yes, there could be a double 1-2. I'm not favoring this scenario, but we could be proven wrong eventually. Swing longs on Ethereum are getting back on track thanks to this pump. Already got stopped out at break even from the short of yesterday. Did manage to lock in some profits, but this is why you need to take profits. If you don't roll over, you don't form an impulse. Not really favoring this scenario, if I'm honest with you, okay? Not really favoring this. Of course, if it were to be bullish, you are looking for a significant break here, right? Potentially, maybe not today, but in the next 1 to 2 days, you might get this little rejection, corrective structure. Okay, you might form a little impulse here, you get another correction, and then it breaks out in the third wave and you form a triple 1-2. Or this is the third wave developing already, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We are just about to take the local highs from yesterday. Let's see if we do smash through the level. It's interesting because the stock market is basically not doing much, but this is when you realize, you understand when you need to sit on your hands, right? Sitting on your hands when you do break certain levels. Yeah, just about tapping yesterday's highs right now. This is why I'm very much labeling this area as a non-shorting zone, right? All of this area that we just crossed through in the last hour is a non-shorting zone, because if you are invalidating the impulsive move down, this converts into a three-wave structure, which means you're looking for these highs to be taken out at some point, regardless if the correction extends or it goes straight up there like we have seen right now. So the importance of when realizing not to get into a short based on the new information that we have, right? So this would be the bullish case scenario, which is just we're just about to hit those, just about hitting those highs. So can we get a gigantic green massive candle to label this as a wave 3? We got a double 1-2 and it just breaks out here. This was an acceptable higher low based on the move of yesterday. I mean, we just barely hit the 7-8 Fibonacci, just not even hitting the 7-8. So it's a very acceptable higher low for the bulls here. Very acceptable higher low. If we would have come down to get to the 0.88 or almost hitting the lows here, that would have been bearish. But as the lows, as we formed a higher low at the 7-8, it's a very, very acceptable target for a wave 2. Still not favoring this scenario. Still not favoring it. What I would be interested in here is, as we're just getting above those highs, we're either looking for a rejection here. We're just about touching that pivot. Lower high here. We're just about there. Currently just trading at the level. There's either rejection from this pivot or rejection from here where we have the anchored VWAP. So the price is just dancing around here, just at the level. Yeah, currently trading above the level, so there's no major rejection, no selling pressure. So alternatively, if we do not reject from here, we got that impulsive move. You're just breaking out in a third wave. This is looking impulsive, right? And we're gonna have to, if we do break up here pretty aggressively, and we get to 115, 116K, if we start rallying here in the next couple of days very strongly, and we can label this as a new impulsive move to the upside in the next coming days, I have to say, I would really consider that maybe the low is in here. If we break through, say that, even though if this forms another 1 and 2, or it breaks out here very aggressively, it's currently above this high, so no rejection so far. We are above the level. If you're above the level, you just accept it, right? No catching silly trades or adding to position here. If it's above the level, you let it go. Let it pump until it rejects. If it were to continue pumping very aggressively, a few $1,000s, and then we get a little rejection, correction, we find support, we form another high, larger correction and another high, and we can label an impulse here by tomorrow, maybe Friday, in the next coming days. I would be maybe saying that all-time high could be closer than we think, but we need a solid 5-wave move up. Okay, so for the moment we are very far away from doing any of this. But it's just saying, if you do have a 5-wave down here, potential 5-wave end, if you finish a solid impulse here in the next coming days, this is the moment that I would say, okay guys, it's time to look for pullbacks, and maybe look for long positions, because this could be the low, because at the end of the day we are labeling all of this as an ABC flat, and an ABC flat has the potential to be the end of the structure, right? It all depends on the impulse that you do form, right? If you do form an impulse up, then it's going to be looking very good. Of course, we have a lot of work for that. We need a solid third wave, which does need to push through here a few $1,000s, give or take, at least get to 115, 116, right? So we can have that gap on the third wave because you know your retracements and the highs and retracement and high need to be far away from that pivot high of yesterday as a wave one. So there's a lot of work here still to flip bullish. I mean, bullish in the short term. A lot of work to do here. We need a solid rally, which I'm not favoring. Okay, guys, we need to talk about it, but I'm not favoring it. Okay, just because we're talking about it, it doesn't mean that I'm favoring it. But this is what would have to happen. To consider this bullish as a multiple 1-2. First of all, this second 1 and 2 is way longer than your first 1 and 2, which decreases the probabilities. That's something that you need to take into consideration. So I am favoring more a longer corrective structure, okay, which would be possible rejection from current price levels, okay, possible rejection from current price levels. With an SFP, we've got an SFP attempt right now from those highs, and of course we would need a lot of more information here. One of the scenarios would be ABC to the upside, and then ABC flat is another one where you smack back down to the lows. And then here you can form, many different things. Here you can form a zigzag up. Here you can form another flat and then move down, okay? And this would be labeled as your wave 4. Instead of your wave 4 finishing here, as we were speculating yesterday, this could extend for another few days, right? It just takes the highs, or maybe even slightly higher. It smacks back down. And what you have is a 3-wave up, a flat here, and then we're looking at the end stages of the possible wave 4, right? You're only looking for your Y wave, and we're going to have to really detect either a zigzag or a flat or a triangle, right? Which could take a couple of days eventually, right? And then you look for the rollover. So it could take a few more days still for, in the bearish case scenario, to come down to the lows, right? It could still take a few more days. It would have been nice today to finish an impulse to the downside and get a bounce, but it was not the case, unfortunately. So we're just gonna have to extend the plans and change the plans based on the new information that we get. And it always is like that, right? It's always like that. So far it was looking so good. But if you do not get that confirmation for continuation, then you need to suddenly flip on the different structures that could get developed. So we're not swing failure pattern here successfully from this lower high. It did not create a successful swing failure pattern. As we speak, we are trading above. We are trading above those highs. So it did not swing failure pattern successfully as of yet. Not a successful swing failure pattern. So could we extend a little bit higher? Let's go through the comment section, see what the people are saying. Maybe people are flipping very bullish. We need a lot of information to flip bullish. I think based on this movement up, likely being some kind of a 3-wave zigzag or correct, yeah, WXY, or in this case we would be labeling an ABC, that the correction could extend a little bit longer. And of course B wave of a flat can go all the way up to the 1236 1382, which we are going to take a look at right now on the reverse here. It could technically push up all the way up here to the 113.5. where you just kind of SFP at the 1382 from those levels with the anchored VWAP. And that's a zigzag up, flat here. And then, you know, you can form whatever in your wave Y, which could take a little bit longer. So we're not SFPing successfully here. It looks like the price wants to go to higher levels. It is pushing above those lower highs. It looks like we want to push up, guys, here. So that level was not respected. Up we go, higher we go. Let's go through the comment section, see what the people are saying. Let's put that anchored VWAP. It does look like we want to pump another few $1,000s. We've pumped already today over $4,000, guys, almost $5,000. So the price is wanting to get a bit of punchy action. Next big major of resistance is the anchored VWAP. So for the moment, no shorts. No shorts. Let the price rally where it needs to go. 50% Fibonacci from that last attempt here to create that wave 4. We are coming into that level very, very soon. We just need another pop of $1,000. Getting into longs here, FOMOing into longs here. For me is not the plan. For me is not the plan. Let's go through comment section. Stock market is getting a pump. Hang on a minute. Why isn't my data coming in here on the stock market? Stock market is getting some pumpy action, some pumpy momentum right now. Is there any news that I'm not aware of? Was it Fed Chair Powell talking about crypto? I think there was something about crypto, guys. Let me know in the comment section. Andy, gold rotation from the gold dump. Gold rotation. Let's take a look at gold right away. What is gold saying? Gold is getting a little bit of dumpy action. Oh, gold's actually dropped a few $100s on the ounce. Gold is getting gold rotation. People are selling gold to buy crypto. Silver dump, gold dump. Gold is forming a double top. Bitcoin is breaking out. Spot bags. Ethereum long is in the game. Yeah, significant dump down. I think there was something about the Fed Chair Powell talking about crypto payments today or something. I mean, I'm checking on the news here. We do have core inflation on Friday. So we got in that pumpy action here on BTC. Something is coming out, very likely. Rotation, guys. People are finally selling their gold to buy Shiba Inu and some Solana, right? Crypto bull run it is for Q4. October, guys. October it is. Let's refresh this. Nice little rally here. We also have a rally on Ethereum, which is looking good. I am in some swing longs on Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum here right away. Because Ethereum is looking more bullish based on strength than Bitcoin. Now, I'm happy to be in swing longs on Ethereum. On a few exchanges, because even though Ethereum does claim this low or not, you know, I would just be happy to re-enter. This is the kind of swing long position that will be lost if you kind of don't get in, right? Because there is a possibility that Ethereum is already forming the Y wave here in a triangle. I mean, you know, this had to be talked about today in the Legends Pro community. We were mentioning the scenario. However, I was a little bit skeptical based on Bitcoin, but I'm not closing my Ethereum swing longs. I would happy to be in the negative or even get stopped out and wait for the lows to be claimed to then look for another long position, right? Because it's going to be a stop loss hunt event if it were to happen, and then rally, right, throughout the next coming week. So Ethereum, this is something that was talked about on the stream yesterday, Ethereum is holding stronger than Bitcoin, guys. Ethereum is holding stronger than Bitcoin, and there's one main reason why. When we take a look at the Friday drop from last week, we claimed the lows of the liquidation event on Bitcoin. And Ethereum last Friday did not claim the low, which, you know, you kind of seen that Ethereum is holding a little bit stronger. Ethereum is holding stronger than Bitcoin, at least throughout last week. And even, I mean, last few days was pretty similar. You are forming a higher low from previous Friday, so it's moving kind of the same. But it's things that you put together. And when you do zoom out on Ethereum, we are looking at this to be labeled as a wave 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 complex sideways WXY. We're looking at this to pop, you know, give or take in the next 1 to 2 weeks, or maybe 3-4 weeks, right? It's just don't, as we get more information here on the chart. We were talking about Ethereum today, and this is one of the scenarios that I was just a bit skeptical about, because when we do take a look at Bitcoin, where Bitcoin was looking a little bit choppy to the downside, highly likely corrective move up. Now we've changed the picture ever so slightly, so we do need to see big major rallies in the next 24 hours. Bitcoin either needs to correct down and then rally, or continue rallying today, if we want to consider this being the end of a 5-wave move. Because if we start chopping around and we do reject from here, yeah, well, we're just extending that wave 4, where it's a zigzag up, a flat, and maybe another zigzag up, or maybe a flat here, right? And then it rolls down. We're just extending that idea of the wave 4. We just got a pump in the middle that's just extending here the lower high potential. These are the only levels. If you're trading above this high, I'm personally not interested. We either tap this high or we reject. We close 4-hourly candle, even a 1-hourly candle, strong 1-hour candle here would do for considering that rejection back down. But it needs to get back below this low. If it does not get beneath this low, I'm happy to look at the next level, which is the anchored VWAP in this lower high, right? It's either reject here or reject here, but inside of this zone, I'm not interested in speculating here on any shorts right now at this moment. So Ethereum, I have to say, this has the potential. It has the potential of finishing the WXY. If we do get a solid breakout here throughout the next coming days, we have from all-time high, we have a zigzag down, double zigzag in your wave X, which got all the way up here to these highs, which is perfect. That kind of confirms that this is corrective. And eventually right now, you are looking at, the end. We're getting into the end stages of this correction, guys. Could it be another week or so? Could we claim the low? This ends up being another zigzag down. This is what I was talking about. I mean, I would just be happy to get into an epic long later on. So we just need to have those plans ready on what could happen. But if Bitcoin were to really continue rallying, which I do not think is the case, guys, okay, we just get a little bit of a hype pump here. Ethereum, this was a corrective move down based on this rally, because the biggest drop that we had here from previous Friday, the liquidation event, did not get a dead cat bounce high and come back down to test the lows. In fact, it got a rally overlapping the golden pocket from your possible wave 2. So this is automatically a corrective structure. So yeah, A, B, C, D, E. We have zigzag down, double zigzag wave X, triangle formation to finish your Y. I mean, I have to give an opportunity here on Ethereum. When I take a look at, I am in a few swing longs on Ethereum, and I do still hold 80% of my spot bags, because I strongly believe that another new all-time high is very likely in the next coming weeks for Ethereum here. The overall question when you're analyzing the end stages of a correction is, do we form one more low, or do we basically form a triangle, or do we form a flat structure here where you have A, B, C, and then you rally, right? You kind of need to go with the flow. I have to say, I need to give a chance here for this triangle on Ethereum. We need to give it a chance because, I mean, when we go to the 1 hourly time frame, we're going to see it even better. This move down that we had last week, well, 2 weeks ago right now, from the 4,700, let's see if Tradingview wants to load here. We're labeling it as a corrective 3-wave move. 3-wave up, 3-wave down, 3-wave up, 3-wave down. You know, it's going to have to do a little bit of work here, because if we do not break out here throughout the next 24 to 48 hours at maximum correction and then break out, if we roll down from here and we break the lows, then I'm looking for a 3-3-3. I'm looking for another zigzag down here. I'm looking for a zigzag, correction, zigzag. But you know, you have to give it a chance, right? You definitely have to give it a chance here. This is just about 1 to 2 weeks ago. We were speculating on this and realizing that, you know, we either form a flat here, we either form a triangle here, right? And we have one triangle already, right? Anybody that has not too much knowledge here on complex Elliott wave theory, WXY, this is literally, we're just going to get a screenshot here for you guys so you can understand what kind of sideways corrective structure we are looking at here. When you have, after the leg up, a ABC 3-wave structure, right? I need you guys to follow up here. 3-wave down, right? ABC. You have that 3-wave down on Ethereum from all-time high, right? ABC, bang, bang, and bang, right? 3-wave move down. I need you guys to follow up here. 3-wave down. Wave X, that can be any corrective structure. It can be a double zigzag, a regular zigzag. It can be a triangle even. You know, when it comes up to get very close to that lower high of the B wave, which is this case right over here, as you can see, that's literally what has happened here, right? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you're getting close to that B wave right over here. So we can label this scenario as, hang on a minute, we could be forming a, you know, a double zigzag. A sideways WXY, right? And a wave X with that double zigzag coming very close to the B wave. Then this, yeah, you can have your A wave coming all the way down to your wave W. That's totally fine. But as you can see on Ethereum, there has been some kind of a triangle formation in the last 10 days. So for the moment, we had this on Ethereum, and now we kind of have a little bit of this, right? A triangle formation after forming that zigzag A, wave X that's coming all the way up to your B wave. And now A, B, C, D, E. Now we're getting a triangle. We need to give it a chance here for the pop. We need to give it a chance. Maybe the low could be in here. Maybe this is the time that Ethereum just takes off and goes to all-time high in the next week. You want that first impulsive move to the upside eventually, right? So we've been following up this in the last few days, especially today in the pro community. I wasn't too I had my doubts on this. I still have them based on what Bitcoin's doing, but Bitcoin's getting a bit of a pump here. So yeah, I mean, this is not a bad sign. Not a bad sign for the bulls. At least we need a significant push up on Bitcoin really to confirm the bullishness of the next few weeks. Okay, we really need to get to 116k plus and a strong move in the next 24 hours to really consider that. But I would say, guys, Ethereum has the potential of finishing here the way full, right? Maybe this is the end, guys, of Ethereum. What do you think? What do you think? Right? Because there is a triangle here after forming a zigzag down and a movement up in wave X. We've been following up here this scenario in the last few weeks, speculating on, okay, we got a few steps here. Still even considering the zigzag down, which had low probabilities, okay? Because if you have a rally on your wave X that gets above the golden pocket, which was the case here, well beyond the golden pocket, 7.8 and even almost hitting the 0.88, the probabilities of another sharp zigzag decrease, okay? They do decrease in probability. So you come up with the idea of having either a triangle or a flat, another flat here that could be a little bit confusing. Pump up, back down to the lows, and then then you hit all-time high. So I have to say I need to give a chance for the Ethereum bulls to have a potential finished WXY and start the rally to all-time high in the next few weeks, guys. Maybe this is the time. Maybe it's the time, right? When I'm positioned already, I still remain on heavy spot bags. So this whole bear market talk, right, is still not something that I'm considering. Even though, even with a drop from Friday here, guys, we were still looking at all of this to be corrective. Not to be extremely excited just as of yet, guys, but if we break out from here above 4,300 on Ethereum, yeah, I mean, it's just the lows can be revisited. They can be revisited, but if they are revisited, holy smokes, it's just going to give you a great long-in opportunity, because this is just extending a sideways correction. And if it's not a triangle, it's going to be a flat with high probability. If this is not the triangle breakout, I'm literally just looking for another zigzag up, and then it might get a sharp move down that might look aggressive just to shake out again, right? We already had a shakeout last Friday, but I couldn't care less. I'm already positioned in swing longs, and it would just bring another opportunity to either, new longs or even add to the long position. But we haven't got many options for the bears here, really. There's really not many options for the bears. The only one right now, if you do maintain below the lower highs of 4,300, the only most bearish option is a zigzag, right, where you can form a lower high right there, boom, 3, 4, 5, right, and you just form that boom, 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 like a zigzag structure here, and then just claim these lows, might get beneath this low, it will just bring a great long opportunity, in my opinion. I do not, this is already low probability to happen for the moment. Low probability doesn't mean it cannot happen, but it would just bring such a great long opportunity, because this is just extending the correction, and it's just getting you a much better entry to hit all-time high. Much better entry. I mean, the percentage move here would be insane. I mean, this is like when you realize that the market can give you a good opportunity, it might not give it to you, right? So this is why I'm like, I'm not too sure if this is going to happen. So I want to be positioned already below $4,000, right? I want to be positioned and just manage risk accordingly. There's always an option to, if you get a solid breakout here and you move correctively, well, we're going to have to add to the longs and look for new longs here, because this would be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. You're looking for that wave 3 finally smashing out here to all-time highs with a proper impulse after finally finishing this wave 4, right? This is what happens with wave 4s. They can extend, especially when you're looking at the 4-hourly time frame. It could take many weeks, and when it happens, you either got in or you did not get in, right? Market doesn't give you many second opportunities. So yeah, this is, we're still very much labeling this as a wave 4 on Ethereum, and giving the possibility that with this triangle that maybe it's done. Maybe it's done. We're talking about, if this has to be the end of a triangle, you literally got your E wave right there. Most commonly in a triangle, where you find support or resistance is in between golden pocket and the 0.88 zone. We just barely missed the golden pocket. It's the most common area. It doesn't mean it has to be the area, but in that triangle. So a higher low basically in this region. We got a bit of a nice pumpy action on Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin's doing relatively well here. It is pumping up pretty nicely. Hopefully people that got into the short did take profit, just got stopped out at break even. We broke through the levels, no SFP, so we go higher, right? So not an easy long, I have to say. There's no easy long in this zone. It was very choppy, very overlappy, at least for me, guys. Maybe you guys jumped into a long position here, but for me it was not an easy long. When you consider the bullish case, right, if you are bullish, which was a scenario that we talked about today in the pro community, you always need to have a bullish scenario, right? And if you are considering the bullish case, this was it. You need to form a higher low, golden pocket, 7/8 Fibonacci. From this low needs to be defended. It's your invalidation for the 1-2-1-2-3 breakout. So maybe some people feel aggressive and say, you know what, I'm gonna get into a long position here. I'm risking 1%. My invalidation is the higher low right over here, and I'm happy to give this an attempt. And eventually, if it does play out, it pays off, right? It pays off, because even though it doesn't look so good and it holds the lower probability based on how the waves have developed, the chance is there. So if the chance is there, you need to hold a higher low from 106.2k. So bulls did a very, very good job here on Bitcoin to get this lower probability, very choppy structure scenario a chance. We're coming into that VWAP here, anchored VWAP from all-time high legends. The price is looking punchier. It's looking pretty aggressive. We're getting the gold rotation, guys. Seems like people are selling their gold. Ethereum wants to move up here. Anybody that's in long positions on Ethereum. This is a swing long, by the way. This is not, doesn't mean that we're going to go to all-time high. We could really rally here, come back down. But if it breaks above 4,300, we are just closer, and the probabilities are increasing, guys, that, you know, sooner rather than later we're going to hit all-time high on Ethereum. I would really say that if we do get above 4,300 on Ethereum between today and tomorrow, if we were to get up there, I would say that all-time high could be a week away or so. We could be about a week away of hitting all-time high on Ethereum, because, you know, the downside scenarios, you got the flat that could be relatively quick. Flats are usually fast, and then an instant, very quick recovery. Or maybe this is the end of your Y wave, your wave 1, correction wave 2, wave 3. You're breaking out throughout next week or so, and you're already hitting all-time high. So it does look like we are coming to the end stages. Be aware that probabilities need to increase for Ethereum to hit all-time high, and this low potentially to be in. We need to get above 4,300. Very important to change here a little bit of the map. That will just increase probability. Corrective structure in this zone. It's time to either get into new longs or add to current longs on Ethereum, because we are going to all-time highs once we get that price action, right? It's just probabilities increase drastically that we are gonna, you know, miss the move. So we need to maximize whatever longs we have on Ethereum and adding to the position. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, nice little punchy action to the upside. Very nice indeed. Let's go through the comment section. October it is. October it is, back in the green by the looks of things. What the heck, right? There's been a lot of bear market talk in the last few days. Okay, you might have seen this throughout, I don't know, maybe X, you know, maybe some other YouTubers talking about the top is in or very close. We're still in the red on October, okay? still in the red, unfortunately, 4.6%. But anyway, let's see if we can get those swing trades on Ethereum to be, you know, making bank in the next couple of weeks, heading up to all-time high. And we will see if that is going to come to fruition. By the looks of things, it looks very, very good. Bitcoin not out of the woods just yet. Bitcoin not out of the woods. We seriously need to push up here. If we reject from the anchored VWAP and the 50% Fibonacci from this lower high, which is still labeling that wave 4 possible scenario, then yeah, then it's not going to be looking too great, legends. A flat here is still possible. Zigzag up, a flat here out of nowhere. Oof, it's not going to be looking too great. So if we do lose these highs, we reject aggressively, or anchored VWAP, and we really reject aggressively here, very, very impulsively. Yeah, it's not going to be looking too great. I would say that the correction has just extended. So the information that we get in the next few days is going to be crucial. For the bulls, we really want to pop out here. It really wants to pop out to get at least to 115, 116 in the next coming hours between today and tomorrow. Maybe a little corrections is fine, but you really don't want to reject here aggressively. Because if we do get back beneath these lows with a big move down, shallow bounce, and we move down in an impulse, I would be considering that this is a flat. Zigzag up, flat, and here we can form whatever in a Y wave, ultimately looking for a rollover back down to the lows. So yeah, bulls need to push up a few thousand more if they want to consider this a low, okay? Bulls really need to squeeze up here in between today and tomorrow to consider this a 1 2 1 2 3. Really needs to push up a bit more, because this is not going to be a wave 3 if we get a strong rejection. Then we're just extending the correction. 3 wave, ABC flat, a zigzag or a triangle, then down, whatever. We'll look at whatever happens if we do get the rejection, but it will not be looking good. Probabilities will increase to take out that low. So let's see if the bulls do manage to push up. Eventually that would be good for Ethereum if we do extend a couple of $1,000, and we can label this as a wave 3 on the most bullish case scenario, right, which is getting that 1 2 3 4 5 here, and ultimately looking at a 1 2 3 4 and 5 right on the higher time frame. So still a lot of work here to do. A lot of work here to do for Bitcoin. Needs to really push up, but this would be what we would be looking for on the most bullish outcome, which it needs to pump more, right? Let's see. Let's go through the comment section right away, guys. I am trading. The only positions that I have are a few swing long positions. I am positioned on Ethereum mainly. Short trade got stopped out at break even. The rest of the position on Bitcoin, the scenario that we talked about yesterday, it's a day trade. Yes, we can hold some of the position, but we need to take profit. I did take 50% of profit. I was happy to hold 50% depending on what was forming here. I wanted another low, another bounce, and start rolling over to add to that position again. But we did not get this scenario, and we got a major rally. This long was very difficult, at least for me. You know, realizing that we could sweep these lows, just not an easy long, right? I don't want to long here and put stop loss here. So, and I need a stop loss, and I'm not putting a stop loss here basically, and especially when I'm considering a possibility of a 1 2 3 4, right, and then 5. So it just wasn't, there was no long position for me to be taken. Maybe on the 5 minute 3 minute time frame there was actually a nice little trade here. We didn't analyze the 1 minute 3 minute on this local range, but it wasn't looking too great. Yeah, not the best. Not the best zone here. Just one of those longs that you miss, right? One of those longs that you miss. Let's go through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. Andy, I have an idea. Make voting about bullish or bearish people in the chat. Okay, let's do that. Why not? How are you feeling for the next coming weeks? Okay, let me know right away on the poll, guys. How are you feeling about Bitcoin, right? Let's give the Bitcoin and crypto. Let's add crypto for the coming weeks, guys. I'm not sure if it's going to let me here. And let me know. Get your votes in. Bullish, bearish. Let me know right away, guys. What do you feel? Are you feeling bullish? Are you feeling bearish for the next coming weeks? Get your votes in, guys. Get your votes in right now, and we'll check them. See how's the general sentiment. Okay, bullish, bearish. It's a bare moon, says reality so subtle. Okay, it's a bare moon, so we got full moon apparently. I'm not following that. All good in the hood. Staffer One, Baby G, much love, my man. How are you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Most of the lows occur in the first 14 days of the month, so probably would be that we don't even get past the monthly lows. Maybe. Interesting take there, Corey. Interesting take, Corey. The lows are usually done on the first 14 days of the month. If it drops the most possible, think to drop where? Yeah, well, like I mentioned, anchored VWAP, we kind of need to get above those highs, right? We're like in the middle of no man's land at the moment. So if we had to reject, I would really want to see a pump into the anchored VWAP and into the 50% Fibonacci from that lower high to the low
to speculate on the max level for that higher time frame wave 4. Okay, this is max zone. I mean, this wave 4 only hit 382, so if it were to reject, your ultimate zone is the 115k area, and you do have anchored VWAP from all-time high, which is it's a major pivot high from a few weeks ago. We haven't quite tapped it yet, so preferably, I mean, it's in confluence with these lower highs. You just need to be aware of it needs to reject. If it does not reject and you're trading above it, just like we were trading above this high in the last hour, there's no rejection. Let the price go. Don't add to shorts or any of that. If you attempted an SFP here, you need to get out of the market because you did not reject from this lower high. This is like no trade zone. So your next level to either break or reject are these lower highs, which has confluence with 50% Fibonacci from that speculative wave 4 and the anchored VWAP from all-time high, which is exactly in that zone of 114k. So we need to tap it, we need to get above it, and we need to reject from it to consider, okay, you know, it might double top, that's another scenario, and then roll over. But if it does trade above it, you do not want to be in a short. You know, this could rally all the way to 116k. We don't know. Not many resistance above this area. So you might break it, flip anchored VWAP and these highs resistance support flip, and continue the bullish case. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 and 5. Bang, we got an impulse here. Which will be looking insane, guys. It will be looking insane. Maybe so. Yeah, what do you, let me know what you think, guys. Is this a fake pump? It's a trap pump. Are we still looking for this scenario, or are we looking for the flat to be finished and maybe have a impulsive move? Is this flat finished? Has this been the end of the impulse right there? 1 2 3 4 5 in the flat, and now we're just creating a new rally, guys. Let me know right away. What do you think in the comment section? Let's go. Remember, guys, if you are interested in trading, guys, check out the links down below. You do have Bluffin, you got Weeks, you got BTCC, 20% cash back, 25% fee reduction if you trade 10 million in volume, okay, which is relatively easy with leverage. You can win an iPhone 17 on Bluffin. They got all of these different perks here on the exchanges. Check out Bluffin, BTCC. You know, they're the ones that I recommend eventually. I am using them, which work very well, and they only require an email and a password, guys. Only email and password, and you got some insane bonuses down below. Looking for 120k, says Sunshine L. Absolute legend right over there. I am looking for Ethereum to go to all-time high. Right, it might take a couple of weeks, but I am positioned already, and hopefully we do. Holy smokes, this pump on Bitcoin, it just doesn't want to stop. It does not want to stop here. We're probably just hitting anchored VWAP right now as we speak. Let's see if we do get that sweep just on the anchored VWAP right now. Let's see if we pump another few $100. This could be a local rejection point. It's interesting to check here the Bybit chart. Let's take a look at the Bybit chart because we're getting some pumpy action, legends. Let's take a look at the Bybit chart here, because on Bybit, as we do know, we did not claim the lows on Friday from last Friday. We are looking for that triangle on Ethereum. A bit of a triangle formation here on Bitcoin as well. You got EZDE. I've been focusing more on the triangle on Ethereum. got a bit of a triangle here on Bitcoin as well, right? Bit of a triangle formation here. But yeah, Ethereum does look even more bullish than Bitcoin, in my opinion. It's gonna, for me, it's a no-brainer to be not positioned on Ethereum. Is like no bueno. Looking at Ethereum to hit all-time high in the next coming weeks with high probability, very high probability, and it will be the moment to scale out, guys, right? Once you hit all-time high, it's going to be the moment to unfortunately start scaling out, right? Regardless if Ethereum does push to, 6K or 7K throughout the next coming months. We just don't know, right? All-time high and start scaling out, because when you hit these all-time highs, people get excited. You get FOMO. You get, I'm holding. We're going higher, in my opinion. I'm going to scale out. Okay, I already sold almost 20% of my Ethereum spot, and I think I'm going to sell easily 30% or so once we hit all-time high. I'm just not confident that we're going to get an extended fifth wave here. I will not sell everything, but I will sell a significant chunk. Might be 25 or 30% of my Ethereum bags. I seriously want to hold some cash and take some profits, basically, right? Take massive profits. When I sold Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago, just about 125k, and then we got this drop. I mean, this was a 20% drop. And when you hold some significant, cash in Bitcoin, when you do hold some significant Bitcoin, when your portfolio goes down by 20%, when you have a lot, it's insane the hits that you take, guys, right? Maybe if you have $10,000, then you might think, oh, it's $2,000 down, that's okay. But when you start having hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, or potentially millions, you see a big drop, right? And you're like, damn, with all that money I could have reinvested, and I could have done many things, right? So these 20% drops are like, I mean, maybe if you hold $10,000 or $5,000, it's not going to make a difference. But when you hold hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're literally down a lot with a 20% drop, right? It's like, wow. So we want to consider taking some profits at the highs. Are decreasing, which leads me more to the fake pump. Volume, open interest is decreasing, as it, you are favoring here a fake pump. Open interest is decreasing and you are favoring a fake pump. Yeah, we got some bearish case scenarios still here for Bitcoin. Okay, and we kind of not hit those lower highs yet. We haven't hit the 50% just as of yet. Just about scratching it here, just about tapping the VWAP, anchored VWAP from all-time high. It is a rejection point without a doubt. Preferably you do get that wick up here. Oh, anchored VWAP was not hit on Bybit just as of yet. So preferably it pumps another, before it gets a rejection, another $600-700 and then rejects. But you want to see that SFP from either anchored VWAP, either the 50% or either these lower highs. So you really want to see at least a rejection from that box. Lower highs, anchored VWAP, 50% Fibonacci, right? When we're considering the double 1-2. 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 5. This is really literally the area where it kind of needs to form a failed breakout. Will we form a failed breakout? Well, we need to see it, right? You need to get above the level and reject. That's when we can attempt a possible failed breakout, right? So we need to get above it and then back below it and then say, right, I'm managing risk and I'm going to attempt this scenario, right? But right now, not even hitting the level. It's, come on, you're just away a few $100s from it. So come on, let's get over with that zone and see if we either break. And if we break, well, then it's a wave 3, guys, right? If we do break solidly from this last big major level of confluence, I would be happy to say it's probably going to get to these lower highs at 116K. You know, I don't want to have any funny business here with any shorts in this zone. If we get above these lower highs, the anchored VWAP 50%, you either fake it out or you continue back up. So I'm not interested in any short positions above this lower high at all. If you get above it, no business. If you reject from it, entry short, great risk management at the stop above the highs. And if it does start gaining some momentum to the downside, then you got a good position. You can take profit, protect position. Then, similar to yesterday, right? Yesterday was, we're either looking for a local double top or we are looking for these lower highs to be hit. So it was double top or lower high from here. And it ended up in a double top and we got a nice drop of $4,000. So your position is rejection on the double top, stop loss at the high. You get that move down throughout this morning. Great. You're taking some good profits. You're protecting position. Rally today, stopped out at break even. Right? This is how we manage the trade setups. Let's go through the comment section. How many likes do we have? Let me just do a recount of the likes here, legends. And we haven't done any. Send it, says Mattia. I know Mattia's in some swing longs also on Ethereum. We're all in the Ethereum bandwagon, right? We all gonna make it with Ethereum. Only Ethereum season. Yeah, maybe. I'm in the Ethereum train. I know Mattia is in the Ethereum train. Make sure to go and check out CBM Crypto by Mattia. Smash the likes, legend. We do have 300 like plus. We can get to 400 likes. Let me just go around the table as you do smash up the like button. Then we go through the comment section. Bitcoin's just there dancing around beneath the anchored VWAP and those lower highs and the 50% Fibonacci for that possible wave 4. Let's go through the comment section, guys, but let's get that like button pumping to at least 400. All right. And I'll be back. Okay. I'll be back. Let's see if we can get to 400 likes. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Getting a little bit of a pullback situation by the looks of things. Let's go through the comment section, see what the people are saying. We got over almost 600 people watching, 333 likes. Yeah, not many people did smash up the like button here. More like I'll be at the back. Sufri, much love. CBM, go and check CBM, guys. He's an absolute legend, provides content, analysis, every single day, guys, on the channel. Go and check them out. We're printing on the Ethereum trade. I got a few Ethereum trades open on BTCC, one on Bluffin, and they're doing relatively okay. And I'm holding till all-time high. We're holding till all-time high. 1K minimum. Come on, guys. 1K minimum. Let's go. Mattia the legend. We love you, Mattia. Mattia's interested in some longs. He's in Ethereum long. I do know. I'm playing tennis with Mattia tomorrow. Get your cheeks ready, my man, because it's time. I'm back. I am back. We're playing tennis tomorrow. We'll probably get a picture that we can send here on the community on YouTube tomorrow. Don't trust this pump, says Axel. I don't know, man. Ethereum just looks so juicy. Ethereum looks like there is a chance for this to be the end. If Bitcoin gets a solid rejection, then I would be looking at Ethereum to sweep up the lows and we're gonna have to repack the game here on swing longs. We're gonna have to get back into the positions, add to the position, or get to new positions, because I don't think the market is going to give us that opportunity to come back down to below 3,500. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, I'll be ready with my guns to absolutely get into those trades aggressively. This is why we study so hard, consider all scenarios. Exactly, my man. Exactly. The only cheeks that are getting clapped will be yours, my man. Anyone watching, it costs nothing to hit the like button. Byron, much love to you, brother. Andy is investing his time to help others. He doesn't have to. Just hit the like button, for God's sake. Byron, my man, much love to you. Thanks for the support. Byron here giving, saying to the people, come on, guys, smack up the like button. It doesn't take anything. Anyway, market needs to be frothy. Altcoin in the gutter. Only way is likely up. Expecting a 2021 like blow off top. Wow. And Dudex here, very, very bullish, right? That's the thing, right? We haven't seen a major rally on altcoins. Everything's gone down the toilet. All my, not all of it, except for Chainlink and Ethereum. And, I might have one or two that are in the green. But out of 20 plus altcoins that I have to say 80% is in the red. 80% is in the red, guys. No, wherever you bought, most of them are bear market lows. Like, what the heck? What the heck happened? My Chainlink is up about 3x. My Ethereum is up round about a 4x. Bitcoin's up more, actually, round about 5-6x in total from my average buying zone. But altcoins, man, the 20% of my portfolio that I must have bought the wrong altcoins, guys, except for Chainlink. Sui's done very well, but Sui, realistically, what are you up on Sui? 3-4x from average buying zone. Yeah, we haven't seen Avalanche, very poor performer, unfortunately. Yeah, many altcoins, right, wherever you bought throughout the last few years of the bear market from 2022, haven't quite given those gains, right? It hasn't happened, guys. So will it happen? Let me know in the comment section. I have a roulette tattoo. I have a Bitcoin logo. I have a Bitcoin logo here, also as the 0 on the tattoo. So yeah. Come on, guys, it's pumping. Give a like. Let's go through any altcoins. Solana 15 minute looks nasty. Solana 15 minute looks nasty. Ethereum looks awesome, guys. Bitcoin just climbing up here. It is grinding here ever so slightly into that anchored VWAP lower highs zone. If we do get a bit of struggle here, I would say that it could reject from this zone. We either need a smash out from here or we roll over from here. We get either an aggressive move or a corrective move. We'll see. It either smashes or it fakes out. This is the interesting area on Bitcoin. If it fronts run the level, then screw you, Bitcoin. What can we say? I want the levels of the liquidity to be tapped to consider a fake out or a breakout. But if it front runs the level, which Bitcoin likes to do a lot of the times, then I have to say, well, screw you, Bitcoin. Legends, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go and take my dogs for a walk. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for joining. I'll do a video update, I think, tomorrow, just to restructure the different possibilities on Bitcoin based on what happened, right? If we do continue up or we do reject here from anchored VWAP. Okay, we'll restructure the analysis and give the different scenarios. Ethereum, this might be it, guys. If Bitcoin continues pumping, This might be the end of the correction for Ethereum on the wave 4. Okay, there is a solid chance that Ethereum could have finished the wave 4 here in a sideways complex WXY finishing Y in a triangle, which is this scenario right over here. We've explained this through the stream. Zigzag down in a wave W, ABC, wave X coming all the way up to the B wave, and then this sharp triangle with the drop of Friday. This could be it, guys. This could be it, right? If you do picture this with this is basically what we're looking at here, possibly on Ethereum. So Mattia, maybe our Ethereum longs are gonna print in the next coming days and next coming weeks. It does have a good chance. Let's go. Only positions that I have currently, no swing trades on Bitcoin, only one on Ethereum. Little nice day trade short from Bitcoin yesterday. And yeah, that's basically it. Legends, thank you very much for joining. If you are interested in more updates, check out the Legends Pro community. Myself, Devolt, rest of the coaches provide daily updates every single day. If you want to join the VIP where I'm sharing my positions, it's super simple. Send me a DM. You just need to sign up to Bluffin or BTCC. Do a minimum deposit. You got the best bonuses available. 25% fee reduction, 20% cashback on your deposit. Many different bonuses on all of the different exchanges. Check out the bonuses. If you want to sign up to the VIP, it's super simple. Sign up to the exchange, claim the bonus, do a minimum deposit, and we'll hop you into the VIP Legends. Much love to everybody. Don't go now. Yes, it's about time. Been over 2 hours now on the stream. Not much more. We need to kind of tap that VWAP, either breakout or reject. Ethereum's looking pretty punchy. Ethereum has the potential to be forming the first wave 1 from the impulsive move. Maybe it does have a good chance. Legends, thank you very much for joining. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.